What's good everyone? Razzy here with another breaking discussion video, so let's go. Today I want to follow up on the previous video about jams and more specifically get into filling the gaps that you see missing in your scene. Now what do I mean by filling the gaps? Basically what I'm talking about is seeing what's missing in your scene or community or something that you would want but isn't there yet and then making it happen. Let's use the jam that myself, Mark Siller from my crew, and our friend Nix threw in Vancouver several years back as an example. The Floor Horsemen. This jam started out of our desire to throw a fun event that had no competition aspect to it. We wanted to bring the fun back, the social aspect back, the freedom of just dancing for the sake of dancing. The only type of events happening were competitions, which, like I said before, are an important part of a scene, but it can't be the only part. We saw a gap or something that was lacking and took it upon ourselves to fix it in some way. Now, our event was basically just a dance party with some exhibitions, but we tried to do it in our own way. First, we didn't want it to be a b-boy, b-girl exclusive event. In my opinion, these only work if your scene is big enough to support it, or you've somehow got the connections or the pull to convince people to travel for it. Vancouver's breaking scene is actually kind of small and relies heavily on people traveling from other cities or international staying temporarily in the city. We wanted people from all different scenes to come together and be able to enjoy the event. We wanted it to be the kind of event that our friends or family could come to and enjoy even if they weren't great at dancing. As I said in the last video, competitions are not so great for spectators if you don't already like breaking or you don't have someone you know in the competition. But anyone can enjoy a good party, so that was our focus. Party first. We held it at a small circus studio, and I have to shout out the owners of Sideshow Studio, Ali and her team, because Floor Horsemen wouldn't have been what it was without their help. The place and the setup that they made for the event really helped build the atmosphere and ambience. Second, we wanted to have good DJs who not only knew how to play for a battle, but first and foremost could play for a party. DJs who knew how to read a crowd and play what people wanted to hear, but also were able to take them on a musical journey they didn't even know they wanted to take. Now, I shouldn't really have to say this, but this kind of DJ should be standard. So this isn't really anything groundbreaking. Regardless, people like Static, Bless One, and Nina Mendoza were integral parts of making the jam what it was. Now, another quick shout out, building off of what I said in the last video about making people feel welcome and building a culture of dance in your community or city. This event certainly wouldn't have been the same without all the people who trained with the Soldiers Dance Company. All of these people learned not only street dances, but basic party grooves and dances too. It's these basic simple grooves, simple steps that allow people to step into our world and feel welcome. So shout out to all the soldiers who came out to these events or any events really in Vancouver and made them what they were. So many of them really just love to dance, and thank you to everyone who taught them. Building a culture of dance starts with the teachers. Now on to the last part, which was the exhibitions. Our thinking for this was to have a party and then finish it off with what was essentially a show. People could get a taste of the excitement of battles without having to wait through the 8 hours it takes to finish a jam. Instead of 8 hours, our event was 3 to 4 hours. People were hand-picked so we could guarantee the level of competition in the battles. We also wanted to use this opportunity to prop up and give some shine to different people in our scene. In a competition setting, you only get to dance as long as you keep winning. With these exhibitions, we could pick who we wanted to see, who we wanted to highlight, and give them a chance to go more than 1 or 2 rounds. We basically set it up like pro wrestling or MMA, where you have a mid-card and a main event. The mid-card was usually for up-and-comers, while the main event was usually more for people who were already established and could put on a great show for the crowd. Speaking of wrestling, this was where we tried to make it our own. The way we promoted the battles was similar to wrestling. We had small interviews or individual promo packages for the people who would be battling. They were intended to allow people to get to know the competitors a bit more and also kind of get them a little more emotionally invested in seeing the battles. We're not masters of marketing, but we tried our best in our own super low budget way. These videos were shown at fairly regular intervals leading up to the event to remind people that it was coming up in an interesting way instead of just spamming people's Facebook or Instagram. We showed these videos again before the battles to kind of hype it up a little bit more and to recap what was going on. Before the battle started, we had a microphone drop down from the ceiling and I introduced each battle ring announcer's style, complete with silly nicknames, hometowns, etc. People had their own entrance music. We had a fog machine. The studio built a semi-entranceway that people would come in from. In general, we wanted to make it an exhibition where you never knew what was going to happen. After the first event, we had a surprise call-out video that interrupted our closing remarks from some of our friends who had recently moved to Vancouver, basically calling the whole entire Vancouver scene whack, saying everyone sucked, joking of course. And this led to the next exhibition battles for the next event several months later. We set up one-on-ones with the rivals, and after a staged altercation, it exploded into a full-on crew battle, complete with some cameos by Yukon gold miners. We've had a strip whacking battle, a gauntlet battle where anyone from the crowd could get up and battle our friend who was leaving, a popping grudge match between the younger and older generation in Vancouver. We even had a surprise initiation for new members into our crew. They didn't know that they were going to be initiated, but we battled them into the crew. We even had a video from one of the older members, quote unquote, being beamed in live via satellite and kind of shouting them out and announcing the secret special main event battle for one of our events. We always just wanted people guessing what was going to happen next. So this kind of brings me to my overall point with the video, which is throw the event that you would want to go to. Chances are if you would want to go to it, some other people would too. Now this also requires you to know yourself and know what you like and kind of know what the demand is in the scene, what's lacking and what's not. Our crew spent many years traveling. We watched all kinds of battles and got all kinds of inspiration from all over the world and all kinds of different events. And really, the event and the way we promoted it was sort of a combination of old Who Can Roast the Most, Cypher Addicts, and the Real Deal Jam with our own twist and trying to make it work within the scene we had in Vancouver. I think the key part is putting your own twist on it. Like anything, what will make you stand out are the little details. We could have just done the exact same thing as Cypher Addicts or Who Can Roast the Most, but someone else was already doing that. What we were able to do was take aspects of what we liked about these events, combine them with our own influences and create something new. And in the end, isn't that what we're all trying to do anyway? We can't beat someone else at what they do best. We shouldn't try to do what's already been done. We should explore and find out what we like and do that. This applies to throwing jams, defining your style, and really anything that's creative. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you can invent a new type of wheel that serves a purpose that people are looking for. What are some of the best events that you've been to? And what stuck out in particular for you for those events? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you liked the video, give it a big old thumbs up. And if you really liked it and want to keep updated on more content, hit that big old subscribe button. Also, please check out my Patreon page linked in the description below. If you want to get early access to videos, help guide the content of the channel, or just generally help support what I do on here, since I don't make any money from YouTube. Every dollar makes a difference, and thank you so much to everyone who has ever donated. Thank you so much. You're all the best. It's been over a year since I started this Patreon page, and it's been slowly growing. So again, thank you to everyone that has come on this journey with me. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace and love to you all.